And we're back to help combat the growing risks of natural disasters. You know, we get our fair share of really strong storms around here. The U.S. Small Business Administration is partnering with the Resilience Innovation Hub. Together, they aim to provide homeowners, businesses, and communities with the tools and resources they need to prepare, to recover, and to ultimately thrive after a disaster. Joining me live to talk about how we can all better prepare for natural disasters, Richard Seline of the Resilience Innovation Hub. Good morning, Richard. How you doing?
Good morning, Owen. Thank you for doing this. Thank y'all for all the work that y'all do during all of these disasters. I know it's not easy to be out there constantly in this.
Yeah, you're right. No doubt about it. And of course, for those watching, you guys have this partnership between the Resilience Innovation Hub and the Small Business Administration. What's this partnership all about? How did it come about?
So think about this, sad but true. There's two things about my hometown, my fourth generation hometown, that we all know. One is we are exhausted from these back-to-back disasters. Right. But the other part is we kind of pay what I call a disaster tax living here. Higher insurance rates, repricing of your value of your home, your assets, your business operating, all of these things. So U.S. Small Business Administration, and most people don't know this, that 70% of their disaster loan programs actually go to homeowners, not just small businesses. And the reason is you have to kind of think of this as a little bit counterintuitive. Most people who have a small business use their home as collateral in some regards, or if you can't get out of your home to go to your business, the whole cycle occurs. So Small Business Administration looked at what we're doing, what's called future-proofing America, which is focusing on how you put resources and investment ahead of the disaster, which makes the cost of dealing with a disaster a lot less. So we came together. We're a national-based organization here in Houston, but work across the country. So the Small Business Administration, along with several others that we can talk about, have come together to focus on this idea of there's a lot we can do ahead of the curve now.
Yeah, you want to preparation is
Correct.
The best way to go.
Correct.
So what kinds of resources, what kinds of tools are available? How do we plan on doing this?
So there's a couple of things. One, there's a whole set of lists already that exist, punch lists that sit there and say, I need to have a certain amount of dollars available. I need to have my medicine. I need to have certain items. But this is really trying to go, Owen, to the next level that says there are resources to make sure your roof is a new kind of roof, a fortified roof. There's an organization called the Institute for Business and Home Safety, IBHS, which we're also partnered with. They focus on finding resources that insurance will bring to the table, some states bring to the table to help you get a whole new roof that will survive 125, 130 mile an hour winds, right? Which, Owen, goes to one of the issues here. There's a lot of resources available for homeowners and small businesses, but there's so many, it's kind of hard to figure out. That's one of the other roles, is we want to work with developers, home builders, employers, because if your employees can't get out of their home to get to work, that's a big issue, obviously, right? So the whole idea of this, what we call Future-Proofing America Collaborative, is to bring the best of the best, which some of this exists in our own backyard that we don't even know about.
Interesting. So what should the average person take away from this? How can they get help in the future? How can they get involved with maybe some of the plans and ideas that are shaping this response?
Right. All right, couple of things. Not everybody can afford one of these generators, right?
For sure.
And we just went through some of the most massive loss of power, right? So there are a lot of resources available, and we have access to a clearinghouse. There's a number of other organizations that we've been working with here. So one, what can you do? You really need to have a profile of what the risk that you have in your home, in your small business, that ultimately you're sitting there saying, I need to have access to some form of a generator or a microgrid, all right?
Right.
Second of all, there are things that you can do on and inside your house. And I'll use an example. I don't want to pick one of the insurers out, but I'll call them out. State Farm has a product now that looks at and manages the surge of power or power loss in your home. Why? Because State Farm doesn't want to have to pay a loss claim if all the things burn out in your home. A lot of the insurance companies, a lot of the home builders are coming forward with technology, some of which also exist here. We have a technology, Owen, that's here that is a nano paint that won't catch on fire, plus it lowers the power use in your home because it reflects the sun. So what I'm getting at is, what can a homeowner or a small business do a little bit more research? If you need to reach us, we can help make some suggestions to it. I think it's now a time where we need to not think about disasters only when we're doing the recovery, but when we're doing them right now on a sunny day.
Do you have any sense of like what's needed to get over that hump? Has it been sort of a communication issue, or we're just trying to get the right people to understand the right things? How do we help grow this so we can really collectively protect ourselves?
So one of the things that we realized, Owen, you raise a good point, is we focus so heavily on recovery, response, recovery, and rebuilding. We need what we call resilient community navigators. We need individuals that are in these communities, especially low to moderate income communities, who actually are dot connectors. And that, to me, is one of the big gaps that we still have in Houston, is where do I go? Who can help me get through all of the maze, right, of what's out there? We have it to some degree with some of the great nonprofits here. Red Cross, Greater Houston Foundation does a lot of this work. But the reality is, we need a more permanent group, including a workforce that's also trained not to just do on the backside, but is going into businesses, going into neighborhoods, and essentially saying, Owen, look, this is where your exposure is. Let's go get it fixed now. Let's find the resources.
That's great to know people are working on that. We always wonder, what's going on sort of behind the curtain or whatnot. How can folks get in touch with you guys if they want to learn more about what you're doing?
ResilienceInnovationHub.org is our email address and our website. Drop us an email. We're all, on all the social media pieces, and we can help connect the dots. We do a lot of forums here, and we'll do a lot of webinars with lots of different groups. So, we're pleased to play a role here. We're not the only ones. We don't want to be just the ones, taking credit for some great work. What we do want to do is unleash a lot of capital, and there is a lot of money sitting on the sidelines to make these kinds of investments.
We want to make sure they're the right investments. So we appreciate it. Richard Seline, thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Happy late Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you.
All right, let's